I want to talk about the Solar Glide ST by Adidas. What an amazing shoe. Adidas has some other really good stuff out, like the Ultra Boost, Energy Boost, things like that, but personally I think that those are more of a fashion-based shoe. However, the Solar Glide ST, a shoe that I've put over 400 miles in, not on one specific pair, but over 2 pairs rotating, has performed awesome. And let me show you some of the specifics about the shoe and why they work so great. First of all, I'll start with the heel to toe drop. The heel offset to the forefoot. You're at about 11 millimeters. On paper it says 11.1. We'll go ahead and just say 12, and in the women's something like 9.8 or some odd. Starting with the upper, we have the upper mesh. You see we have this little toe counter here. This actually works really well for people who tend to wear a hole in the top of their shoe. For me, I tend to run in grass a lot, and if I were to like play some type of soccer, I'm not going to play a lot. This typically wears out pretty quickly. So what they've done here, they beefed it up a little bit. They've made it a lot more durable, which is really good. The mesh on the forefoot, very flexible. You see the flex grooves designed into it. It almost looks aesthetic, but you'll notice whenever the shoe flexes, they flex really well. On the top, you'll notice that the laces are very coarse. They're actually not very flexible. They're slightly heavy. Personally, I changed them out, but I did like the way that they hug the foot. I just wanted something a little bit better. Through the midfoot, it's a little bit more beefy, this material here. It's not super flexible. It started breaking in better around mile 120 to 150, and it started fitting my foot really well. But that extra, I guess, firmness takes a little while to break in, which may not necessarily be a bad thing depending on how hard you are on your shoes. Coming around to the heel, we have some type of neoprene type material. It's slightly elastic. A lot of Adidas shoes have an issue with slipping on the customer's heels. This one does not do that, and plus this little extra tongue here on the top helps pull on the shoe. In the back you have a heel counter. It helps stabilize and settle the heel down in the shoe and keep it steady there, but it doesn't come all the way across, so your Achilles isn't going to be restricted. Sometimes people get a little Achilles tendonitis and a little bit of pressure hurts it, which this isn't going to do that. Going on to the support system. So it's considered a stability shoe, and we have the energy stability wording right here. Typically what shoe companies do is they make a little bit more dense piece of material here, which this is Boost, and I'll talk about that in a second, which I'm not sure if they do that, but they did add this guide rail to the inside of the shoe. So it's very prominent right here, heel to arch area, and then it kind of tapers off, and then on the lateral side you have it right here centered where the arch, you actually have an arch on the opposite side of the foot where this fits up against that. You'll notice that whenever you wear this shoe, you feel very secure in there. It's nice and supportive. You also have this plastic shank that comes through and goes through the middle of the shoe. If you've ever wore the Energy Boost or one of the other Boost, the flexible neutral shoes, you'll notice that they're super flexible, super soft, super spongy, but they're very flexible. And anytime you have that much flexibility, you bring down on that support, where this one, you have this medial shank to reduce some of the flexibility to help support your foot. Everyone pronates me, I excessively pronate. I have a very flat foot, so this amount of support really works well for me. I'm about 180 pounds. I can tell that it's doing its job. To the cushion system, Boost, it's kind of like a pelletized plastic and EVA mixture. You get quite a bit more compressions out of this than you do out of a regular EVA based shoe. And doing that because people were getting more use and wear out of the midsole, the cushion system. They were wearing through the tread prematurely, so they actually put Continental rubber on the bottom Continental Rubber, durable, lightweight, and you actually get a little bit more grip. It's a very thin run of it, and me personally, putting 280 miles in a single shoe, I have not burned through it at all. I mean, I can tell it's worn, but it's not significant. It's done really well. Other than that, the tongue on the top is gonna be connected down in here in the upper. I would recommend this shoe for anyone running, for anyone doing 5K, 10K, half, marathon. I'm actually training for 50K, a marathon and 50K, and I run in this shoe. I alternate my inserts. I use a carbon super feet, and I put the green insert in there, so it does have good depth and volume. My foot and the way that this shoe fits, it's a little bit wider than regular width, but not quite on the wide side, and it fits my foot really well. So it fits slightly wider and it fits slightly longer. I would say it fits a half size longer. So if you're gonna be ordering this, but I would suggest go to your local running store and try the shoe on, walk around. I would compare it to other shoes like the Brooks Adrenaline, which the new update on the 19th is very comparable. They actually added similar guide rails to it. I would compare it to the Nike Structure, New Balance 860, and some of the other top supportive shoes. I really love this one because it's got the boost in the Continental Rubber and just the overall feel and shape. Thanks for watching, and remember to subscribe.